Today we're going to learn how to take the students' iPads and lock them to a specific app. To do this, we need to log into Lightspeed Systems. Here I'm already logged in and I'm on the dashboard. We have several options here that we will visit later. But right now, to mess with the iPads and lock them, we want to go to Mobile Manager. So I'm going to click on the Mobile Manager, which is on the far left. And it takes me here. Listed here should be your classes, whether it's your fourth period or your first period or even your second period TA. They're all listed here. Now, when I click on one of them, it shows all the iPads for that class. This is my TA, so there's only one. If I go back, how about fourth period? It has all of the iPads for that class listed. Now, before we can go to policies and start making a policy, in the devices, we found out that we need to update the iPad information. So for every one of your iPads that's listed here, you need to click on the little arrow listed here or shown here, and click on the second option, which says Update Information. The students that didn't have this information updated were not able to get their iPads locked. So if you want to lock your students out, you need to click on this Update Information. Now, once you have done that for every student in your class, might be a good thing for a TA to do. Just click, 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 and you can have them do all of them. Click, and then click Update Information. Once you've done all of those, we can now create our policy. So I clicked on the tab that says Policies, and there's two options here, Active Policies and All Policies. The first one, Active Policies, this is a list of all the policies that I currently have for this class that are ongoing. If I lock them to a specific app, if I turn their sound off, if I turn the camera off, all of those would be listed here. If I only have one, then there'll be one. If I don't have any active, there's nothing here. It says no active policies. Under here are the all policies. And if you notice, I have no policy templates. These are all the templates. If I create a different template for every app that I might want to lock the students to, they would be listed here. So if there's 5 apps I'm constantly using, I would have that many templates listed below. This does not mean they're active right now, and there'll be options which I'll show you in a minute to turn them on or off. But if they're listed in this bottom part, that means it's ready to start or ready to activate, but it's not active yet. Now we want to create one. So I'm going to go to the plus sign on the bottom right corner, click on it, and now I'm ready to edit a template. This first thing here are restrictions. So these are different restrictions we can do. We're not going to touch these right now, but if you wanted to turn the cameras off for some reason, that's an option right here. You'll go through the same process I'm about to show you for locking an app. But I want to lock an app, so I'm going to click on App Lock right next to Restrictions. And then here are my options. You have several options here, enabling the zoom, inverted colors if you don't want them to invert colors. You have all these options. But we're going to look at the first one, which says Application. Right now it says None, but I'm going to click on the arrow and see what options we have. This is a list of all of the apps that have been pushed by the district to the students' apps, or to the students' iPads, that we can restrict. Maybe you want to restrict them so that they have to be in Safari doing some research. Maybe you want them to be looking at something in Google Classroom. Or maybe they're in Google Docs. You're forcing them to work on their essay. The math department might be forcing them to go to the HMH player. So all of these are all the options. There's more here than there were a week ago, but still there's some that we might want in there. And hopefully over time, those can get pushed to the students and we will have those options. Right now, let's just do one for the math department. So I'm going to restrict them to the HMH player. So I clicked on HMH player, but we're not done yet. On the box over here on the left, I need to click on that box. I also need to name it. If I don't name it, it won't pop up as an option, as a template. So let's name it. So we are locking them to HMH player. So I'm going to call this lock to HMH player. So this will be titled lock to HMH player. So I know exactly what this is doing. It's locking them to the HMH player. I'm going to scroll down and click on the save button. And now I have a policy. This policy will be viewed or can be viewed in each of your classes because it's now a policy you have created. You do not have to create it for each one of your classes. I have now created it, and I can go to my first period, policies, it's there. My sixth period, policies, there. Make sure, though, for every class that you update their information. Their information is right here under the arrow. There's device information, update information. Make sure you update every iPad's information or their iPads might not get locked to the app that you want. So I'm going to click on my TA and click on policies. And now I want to lock my TA to the HMH player. What you can do is click on the time, the duration. It can be 5 minutes up to 3 hours if you wanted to. And then you would click on the green arrow and the policy will get created. There's usually a little delay, maybe about 10 seconds or so. But after that point, they should be locked into that app. Now, once you have pressed this green arrow, it will be active. And there's two ways to close that policy. One will be when the timer ends, when the duration is over. But if you want to end it early, after you've pressed this green button, it'll go to active policies and there'll be a red square. If you click on that red square, that will shut it down prematurely. And within 10 seconds, students should be able to then navigate into the other apps. Now, there will be some situations where a student's iPad totally gets locked or they can't then navigate through Safari to do research or whatever. And in those cases, we'll have to try to do a case-by-case situation and figure out what the issue is. And there'll be more videos for that. But for this, the simple creating the policy, turning it on and off. And hopefully that will work for your classes. Thank you. And there'll be more videos to come.